G'day guys, welcome back. Another week of building the Soleil Royale. Today we're going to be planking this front part just above the bow from the top down. I've actually already placed the top plank. It has to be level with the upper deck there. I've cut these out so they are just a little wider than this frame. Later we'll trim it back, sand it, so it all comes out looking nice. I'm actually going to be using super glue on this section because these are quite thin. I don't think I can get a pin into them to hold it in place, so I'll just use super glue on this part and that should do the trick. So we'll get started. The planks of wood that we're using are the same planks I believe that will be used for the hull of the ship. They're 1.5 mil thick and 5 mil wide. Okay. Just takes a few seconds for it to take hold. If it doesn't hold, I may have no choice but to use little brass nails or something. As the planks go down, I've actually made them a little bit wider because the frame itself actually widens out as it gets lower to the keel line. Oh, of course it doesn't go to the keel line, but you know, that direction. Okay. I'll keep adding these and then I'll get back to you. Okay, all those planks are in place. The final plank I actually put a thin layer of white glue at the top and the bottom just to hold it more securely. Later, once that's dry, we'll trim it up and sand it. Don't have to be too fussy, as I believe there's going to be a second layer planking over the top of that a bit later. The next part that we actually have to do is, that's it, right, I'll just turn the light away a little bit. This area underneath the decks, so 4 of them, we have to plank through there as well. Just trying to decide whether I should stain it or not, as I need to have another look at the instructions, I think, and just make sure we don't have another layer over that one as well. So we've got 4 of those to do before we start planking the stern. So I'll get the camera set up and we'll start that. Okay, we're going to start with the I guess you could call it, going to be a wall here, probably doors at some point. So this is the furthest to the rear. I'm going to be using white glue on the planks. Again, it's the same planks that we'll be using for on the hull, planking it. So I've already just put the white glue on there. When I can, I prefer to use white glue to super glue. I just think it's a bit stronger over time. White super glue is good for holding things straight away, but white glue just seems to be a bit stronger overall, to me anyway. I've cut these planks just wider than they need to be, because I'll be trimmed back a little bit later. So I should be able to fit one more in there. Not sure, I haven't checked the instructions, but I'm reasonably sure that after this we actually start planking the hull, which I don't mind doing, but the hull on this ship is huge, so it's going to take some time to do it. I'll just put a couple of small clamps to hold all that in place. One on the other side. Okay, I'll just readjust the camera again and we'll move down to the next deck. Okay, the next deck down, exactly the same process, fraction wider than what it needs to be, using the white glue again. Not sure if I'll actually have to trim the top plank on this one. It's going to be quite close, I think. Get my hands in the way as usual. Okay, next plank ready. Yeah, I'm not sure whether this one is going to fit, or I'll dry fit it and see. Oh yes, it fits just. Just put some glue on that one. going in. Again, I'll put a couple of clamps on there just to make sure it's held in place. Oops, sorry, got the camera again. I need to clamp that bottom one, it's in quite well. Okay, I'll do the next two, be exactly the same process, and then when we come back we'll start planking the stern of the ship. Okay, we've got all those areas planked under each of the decks. I think it was this one here. No, sorry, it's this one. The plank didn't quite fit. I had to just trim the top edge to get it in there, but all the rest went in perfectly. Now we're going to start planking the stern of the ship, so I'll just flip that around and we'll start on that. Okay, I've placed the first plank. Just has to be flush with this back edge. We'll be planking it all the way up to here, or just here, and as with the other parts, be just making these a little bit wider so that once they're dry we can trim them and sand them to shape. So on this one I believe I can use the white glue, so we'll give that a go and see how it comes out. So on these ones I'll just put a little bit on the inside edge where the pieces of wood are going to be up against each other. I'm not going to do too many at a time. I'll let this section dry and then we'll continue our way up. That was clever. There we go. So yeah, we'll let this dry and continue our way up. After that we've got to trim everything back, sand it, and then we can look forward to next week. Won't be long. Okay, just trimming up and sanding the stern of the ship. As you can see, I've already done this side. I've got it flush all the way through here with the frame, with a slight beveled edge on it to allow for the planking to follow that. Should we go that way? The planking to follow that lie as they come around the hull of the ship. So I'm going to do this side on camera, and there's not a lot to it. Just basically I trim the edges just a few mil wider than it needs to be. So now I'm just going to sand that off. I use a Dremel with a drum sander on it. So this could come out reasonably loud, so you might want to turn your speakers down. So we'll just start that. Okay, so once I've got that reasonably close, just so I don't overdo it with the Dremel, I just go over that last little bit with a piece of sandpaper. As you can see, I'm just sort of getting that inside edge to give it the slight curve for the planking to come around onto it. And that's basically it. I'll tidy it up a little bit more off camera, but overall that's what we're after. So what I'll do is I'll do the front of the bow of the ship and where the planking extended out past the walls, and then I'll show you the final result. Okay, I've trimmed up and sanded everything. So there's the part above the bow. All the walls have been done, as well as you saw me do the stern of the ship. That's just about it for this video. Next week we'll be fairing the frames to allow the planks to sit nicely against them, and then yeah, next week we'll start planking the ship, which is sure to take quite a while, I would say. It's quite a large hull. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you again next week.